Hi, my name is Marie Conser. I'm a real estate broker here in Portland, Oregon. And in this first video of 2022, I will be looking back at 2021 and share what happened and share with you my predictions for 2022. So without further ado, I will share my screen and we will start with this summary of the last 3 years of inventory of homes for sale in the Portland metro area, which shows an all-time low of 0.6 months of inventory in December. And I say it's an all-time low because we have never seen such low numbers ever since this started being tracked. And what that means is that if no new home was to come on the market to be sold, this is how many months it would take to sell the current inventory of homes listed for sale. In other words, it will take just a little over 2 weeks to sell what we have currently on the market. It's a very, very tight inventory facing a very strong demand. So what that translates, and you've seen the headlines, it translates into appreciation in prices. Home value have increased. So a home, the way to read this, for example, is a home that would have sold at $493,800 in December of 2020 would have sold for $571,900 in December of 2021, showing an appreciation of 15.8%. The medians are the same or very similar in terms of percentages. The numbers are slightly different because we're looking at the median, but that in a nutshell captures very well that we have low inventory, strong demand, which translates into homes being sold for a higher price. So if we're looking at the volume of sale between 2020 and 2021, we're actually seeing an uptick, which is encouraging because more sales actually happened in 2021 than in 2020. We had 5.4% more new homes to sell and 9.8% more sold homes. So if you can see between 32,000 and 32,000 homes sold in 2020, 35,000 homes sold in 2021. Now we have to keep in mind that 2020 was the beginning of the pandemic, and in March and April is when the governor encouraged people to stay home, and that resulted in a lot of sellers changing their plans in terms of not selling now and postponing selling their home or removing their home from the market. So obviously, math-wise, we had less homes being sold, and you can see we had 38,000 homes listed for sale and 32,000 selling. So we had a bigger gap there that happened. Anyways, this translated into an increase in sale prices, and more importantly, a huge decrease in the number of days a home stays on the market. So we went from 46 days, again, keep in mind the pandemic, to 27 days on the market on average for 2021. All right, so what happens every year is that the loan limits are revisited in light of the appreciations in home prices. So 2022 is no exceptions, and the new loan limits for conforming loans went from $548,250 to $647,200 in 2022, and that does reflect the trend of home appreciation. That's for one home. For duplex, the limits will be different, likewise for triplex, etc. So above $647,200, you would be in a jumbo loan situation, and those are the new limits for 2022. This is helping and encouraging with the loan process for the buyers this year. Now, where are the mortgage rates heading? Well, we finished the year on a higher note. Last year, we went as low as 2.5%. in some loans, and we finished the year right a little bit above 3%. Historically, we're still very low. In the recent years, we went back here to 2016, but in the recent year, 2018, we went all the way in the high fours, very close to 5%. And we are nowhere near there we were nowhere near there in 2021, and we're not expecting to be there in 2022 either. Those are the mortgage rate projections from Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, the Mortgage Bankers Association, and the National Association of Realtors, and the averages are all keeping us under 4%. Of course, those are projections, but that's what we have started seeing in January already. Now, what does that impact on prices and home sales? Well, house price appreciation can be resistant to rising mortgage rates. And there is this phenomenon called the downside sticky. But what we are seeing as well is sometimes increase in interest rates can result in a slightly higher amount of inventory, because people may, instead of keeping their previous home with a low interest rate and buying a second one with also a low interest rate and maybe turning this one into a rental or an investment property, in an environment where the interest rates are increasing, they may actually choose to sell that first home in order to buy that second home. So resulting in an increase in inventory. I will touch on that again at the end here. The home price forecasts for 2022, we are still seeing appreciation. So my take on this is we may not see as strong of an appreciation in 2022, but it will remain pretty solid in terms of appreciation. Home sales, number of homes selling nationwide, the forecast is again that 2022 will perform very well. And we are historically seeing that home sales are not impacted by rising mortgage rates. As a matter of fact, when interest rates are rising, we typically see an uptick in home sales as buyers try to secure a lower interest rate before they go higher. So not a huge impact on home sales typically by rising mortgage rates. Now, another question I get a lot is, will there be a wave of foreclosures? I've had it since 2020. We didn't see one in 2021. I don't foresee one in 2022 for two reasons. The borrowers worked out some loan modifications or plan to repay their loans. So they are, a lot of those borrowers got out of forbearance, number one. And the ones who are still in it have seen their value, their home value appreciate. So all in all, if they were to put the house on the market, there is a very strong possibility that they could get out of it with still some equity. So there is no wave of foreclosure coming up, and I'm not seeing or hearing any specialists talking about a wave coming. Now let's talk a little bit about our economic forecast, and I'm going to focus a little bit more about on Oregon in the next few slides here. But the economy has grown. We've had a very strong 2021. Overall, the whole country experienced a 10% growth, part of that being the inflation. And from a housing standpoint, of course, we have all experienced a very tight housing inventory, and it's the case nationwide and in Oregon, but we have some good news to share. First of all, construction is picking up. We're seeing more permits, more starts of construction. The builders are still dealing with supply chain delays, which in turn will probably result in delays in delivering the new homes. But there is definitely an increase in that, which will ease the inventory. this is not going to be enough to fix the demand, the strong demand, or to meet the strong demand in 2022. It will take a few years still to catch up on all that demand, but it's happening. Another interesting trend that is observed in a context of rising interest rates is that there is usually a little uptick in inventory. And actually in 2018, the last time the interest rates were getting higher, hinted to that earlier, the inventory in the Portland metro area increased by 20%. So what happens is when you have those two homes, you own a home with a low interest rates and you're trying to buy another one, if the interest rates are still low, it's easy or easier to carry two mortgages with low interest rates. But once the interest rates are going up, it is more difficult to keep two mortgages. So oftentimes the buyers of that second home will release their first home into the inventory of homes for sale in order to make that second purchase. So it's good news for buyers in 2022 because usually in a context of increasing interest rates, we are seeing an uptick in inventory. So I see that as very encouraging news. As for the labor market, which is very important when it comes to buying a home, expectations here in Oregon are for the labor market to recover in 2022, make a full recovery. We are currently at a very low unemployment rate of 4.1%. It's one of the lowest. Actually, the lowest was 2017, 2018, I believe, right around that time. But this is one of the lowest at 4.1%. The average wages are up 17% since the beginning of the pandemic. So again, we're thinking first quarter of 2020. Total wages and salaries in the state are 11% above their pre-pandemic levels. So all of this is encouraging when it comes to the cost of housing. But the forecast for 2022 is that the wage growth will continue to stay strong, not quite in line with full employment, but still strong. So all I see is encouraging news. Now, if I were to summarize quickly, Cliff Notes, 2022, we will continue to see low inventory of homes for sale with a very strong demand, which will translate into fast, short times on the market and still some appreciation in terms of prices. We still have very strong borrowers that have cash, strong FICO scores, very well qualified to make those offers, and interest rates, low interest rates that will support that purchase. Hopefully a rising inventory of homes through new construction and potentially more existing homes that will come on the market. So if you're wondering when is the time to sell and when is the time to buy, the answer is now. And actually the forecast is for this first quarter to see more homes on the market than typically in the spring. April, May, June used to be, the second quarter is traditionally the quarter with a lot of inventory. This year will be probably earlier. So if you are curious about selling or buying in 2022, or doing both actually, buying and selling, please reach out. I'm here for a free consult. You can actually go to my Calendly, calendly.com/MarieConcer, and schedule a free 30-minute consultation about your real estate goals for 2022. We can chat. If you're thinking about moving out of state, I also have connections throughout the states working with John L. Scott. We have a fantastic team who actually can connect you with agents throughout the whole US. So you would be in really great hands here. And for 2022, what I wish for you is good health for you, your loved ones, success in all your projects, personal and professional. And hopefully, if one of those projects is real estate, we will get a chance to work together. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.